Hi everyone and welcome back to the Nature Garden. So we're going to be talking about life cycles again today, and the animal's life cycle that we're going to be talking about is very different from you and mine. It has a very amazing journey along its life cycle, and that's because it goes through a process called metamorphosis. So this animal starts out as an egg, and then it goes into a tadpole which has a tail a bit like a fish. Then as it grows and gets older, it gets legs and it uses them to hop from land to water. So do you think you know what it could be? Let's have a walk over to the pond and we'll see if you're right. So of course the animal we're going to be talking about today is a frog, so well done if you got it right. Now frogs belong to an amazing group of animals called amphibians. Other amphibians include toads, newts and salamanders, and they all have the same thing in common. These animals start their life in water, so in a pond like we've got behind me, and then leave the water during their life cycle and come out onto land. Like all amphibians, frogs can breathe and absorb water through their skin. Unlike you and I, we've got to do that through our mouths. Now the frogs can do this because their skin is very thin. But what that also means is that they're very sensitive, and handling frogs can actually damage their skin and hurt the frog, and that's because of the oils that we have on our hands. So we won't be handling any frogs today, but if I was going to, I'd have to have very clean hands that were wet, and I'd only handle a frog for a very short amount of time. Now because of their sensitive skin, it does mean that frogs have to live in a very specific habitat, like the pond behind me.
A habitat is a natural home of plants and animals. It can be a sandy desert or deep blue oceans. A pond is a type of habitat. It provides the animals and plants that live there with the things that they need to survive, like food, water and shelter, and a place to reproduce. The organisms in this habitat sustain life by living off one another.
So now we know a little bit more about frogs and their habitats. Let's have a look at their life cycle.
During winter months, common frogs like these hibernate at the bottom of ponds. When spring arrives, adult female frogs will lay their eggs in a safe area of the pond. The eggs are then fertilised by a male. One female frog can lay up to 5,000 eggs at one time. Unfortunately, many of these eggs are damaged by the weather or eaten by predators. After 1 to 3 weeks, the surviving tadpoles will emerge from their eggs and start to grow by eating the egg yolk and plant matter from the pond. The tadpoles then begin to change. They develop lungs to breathe on land, their tails disappear as they grow front and back legs, and eventually they climb onto land where they continue to grow by eating plants and insects until they reach their adult stage, at which time they are ready to have their own babies.
So if you'd like to go on your own amphibian adventure, the best place to look is your local ponds or other wetland areas. But please do remember that water can be very dangerous, so if you do go to any of these areas, please make sure you're supervised by an adult at all times. So that's it from me today, but join me again soon for another forest school session. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please stay safe, and I'll see you soon.